out is the fact that their comp is very traditional. I mean, everyone knows what that comp is. You know what that comp is, right, Tash?
I mean, we've seen it going on for so many months, so many years. It's a very tried and true comp. It's a comp that I think at one point every team was running, and it was a battle of, you know, it was just a skill matchup at one point for this particular map, right? So let's see how it's going to turn out, because my curiosity is more of like, is this comp still very much relevant ever since Teho came into play?
Yeah, that is the big point. So I feel like in this matchup, it's interesting just because on one side, you have basically kind of like two info initiators, if you consider Teho as one. Meanwhile, Z11 has, you know, at least still some variety with KO on the flashes. Was that some lag? I don't know. He just walked into the wall there.
Walked into the wall, dropped a spray. Very traditional. Anyways,
Okay.
For this particular map right now, we already know that it's a solidified wall, so you're not going to be able to see those easy wall bangs, but first contact has happened here. Potter not able to land that shot firstly, but I think Fontes is lagging.
That's what I was worried about, but okay. Well, you know, the round's already started, so they're just going to keep going. For now, though, it is already a bit of information, and now inside the smoke, they can pop flash out.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Anti-flash happened, but for Laz, he hasn't moved at all. Apinya somehow goes massive with 3 right over there. But Bazbabe gonna just walk straight onto the side here. No reactions quite yet. The paranoia comes through here. And despite all of the utils, Apinya swings and somehow lands a 4. So pretty clean pistol coming in for full sense.
Like you said, Tash, anti-flash. That's the whole dash. Well, that's everything, basically. They just read the smokes. They saw the peak coming out, and it was enough information for full sense to set things up. So full sense for now, like, we're not seeing too much of the Teo yet, but I want to keep my eyes on that to see how this continues to develop.
I mean, at one point, you know, there was that worry, right, about that Teho and when what it means to have a Killjoy around, but they did nerf the Teho a little bit. So maybe it might have changed. Regardless, suppression does come through onto Apinya. He's holding here. Fortunately for him, misses the mark on that shot, so will be forced to move back.
Take flight.
More info. Now just checking. I mean, it is pistols, but you just want to know kind of what your opponent's intentions are. There's some noise towards the middle as well, so you can see Leviathan beginning to move around.
Moving on the map here, I think Z11 is just really trying to get a feel of what exactly or where exactly everyone's going, and being honest here. But full sense, they're not too, worried at all. It's just more about trying to figure out where exactly Z11's hitting without going over aggressive. It's a more safe, more aggressive turtle shell style play. Nice close contact from Sephiroth as well as his teammate here. Endo does answer back at the very least with 1 from his classic, but Sephiroth, he's not done yet. 3 to his name with just the Marshall. Potter here gonna try and make things work, but Bazbabe gonna be able to steal away a Bulldog. And I'm not sure why. Recently I've been seeing a lot of insane classic kills. And Bazbabe, he goes huge, but the same can be said about Sephiroth here. 3 guns lost to Full Sense's name, but no cigar for Z11.
Also a lot of kills for Sephiroth again. I mean, you can already see how it's starting to shape up. He is kind of very aware of what's happening on the map all the time. So those 4 kills bring him a lot closer to his Omen ult, which will be very useful later on. But also, just to read how things are happening on the map right now. I mean, that was a pretty successful eco round for Z11, having robbed that many guns away. Now you got the full buy coming in. They've already kind of assessed the situation. They know that it tends to be that just that silver around the... Okay, but Full Sense have swapped things up as well. You got a little bit of a 3-stack around tree, around A short.
I think they're starting to understand how Z11 is moving around the map. I mean, they like to go up onto main, get a feel, and then move a lot of bodies toward mid-side area, and then finally just kind of running into 3. I think they're just trying to see whether or not they can kind of simulate what happened last round.
Yeah, the whole intention of that, you know, you create that early B main presence. You want to test the waters to see if your opponent's nearby.
Hardora, great open. Does he know? They're beautiful paranoia, and Leviathan just tapping hits you onto mid. Quickly just gonna clear out that area from Sabrosa as well with the util. Apinya, we're gonna easily find Pontus, and now for Full Sense, it's all just about just swinging out and cleaning house out mid here. Z11 couldn't even shoot back.
Yeah, full contacts quickly made and swung upon by Full Sense. Again, once that's everything that they're trying to set up. They know that Z11 loves to go for that B main presence. After a little bit of utility being sent through or baited out, they tend to rotate back to middle to continue assessing their options. And from there, that's when Full Sense sets up for this pinch. So you see that lovely like flash going over. And then also for the rest of the team to swing out together at the same time. Z11 just got completely struck by this truck. So right now, got some sheriffs, a stinger, and they've decided to go for this 4-1 split. Heavier presence on towards A site now.
Nice flash. But it's enough to just really just push Sephiroth back here. And I like how Full Sense is just taking their time. Flash comes through, just retreat back into the smokes, and then just wait it out once again. And the rest of Z11, because they weren't able to get anything from that flash, they've made their presence known onto A. They're gonna quickly just rotate back onto B.
Which could be easily read by Laz. He's already in position, does have Arpinia nearby for support as well. That has been their default setup for Full Sense. So, okay, contact.
Ooh, great opening here from Laz, and he's not backing off. And the Endoist, he does what he does best, just wide swinging with that stinger. But kept at bay for the time being as Bassmate with only 20 HP left, easily taken out by Arpinia. And he's just gonna quickly move away onto the side itself. Potter close by here, but Endoist again, same big wide swings, but the holds onto the side. The Turtle Shell style play will be paying dividends for Full Sense, and their defense is impenetrable.
Revealing area. They demand a fight.
And they've got great reactions to Small Tash. You just love to see how they're playing the map so far. They're so experienced on it. They've come from a lot of different teams and whatnot. But what it comes down to at the end is trying to play that information game. You got hit by a flash, but while that flash was going through, Laz was pushing up in towards B main. And with that, he was able to hold, maybe for information. If he gets hit by contact, that's extra information for the rest of the team. Once they got hit, they saw that many players. It's an eco round. They're like, okay, everybody rotate. And Arpinia did a really good job of stalling down a lot of these players. So maybe some work to be done for Z11 now, especially this time up coming in.
Yeah, and while they did have the right idea going a bit more aggressive, I think it just really falls in the more, I think, Z11 style of play even more. But Full Sense, again, I really liked what you said here about how Full Sense just getting a feel, getting an idea, playing off context, finding that info. But you also gotta really like the fact that they have like a buddy system going around. They have two players playing side by side each other. It's almost instant trades every time from Full Sense, despite the fact that you have Laz playing aggressively forward, he goes down, and immediately you have another layer of defense coming in from the site itself, and it's a crossfire on top of that as well. So love what Full Sense is doing. I'm just curious whether or not Z11 has figured this out yet. It is a very, I would say, hard Rubik's Cube to figure out.
Oh yeah, especially now that Potter's pulling out the op as well. He's peeking out of B main as well. That's going to be huge information, and also a really strong tool in locking down this potential lane. So Z11 might have to either do their due diligence checking or find some other spot to go into.
As soon as he heard the drone, yeah, he even hides. He's gonna try and peek. Oh man, he challenged the drone, peeked out, knowing someone would push, and it paid dividends.
And at the same time, look at what's happening on A main. It's Sephiroth. He's beginning to push out. He sees the alarm bot, so he's kind of wary about it, but it's so much information for Full Sense right now. Even looking at Leviathan's position, he's already prepared in case there's that push coming through tree. Smoke for a bit of a fake, and Z11 are attempting at going towards market, and once again, everything's being read by Full Sense.
I'm not too sure what happened there. I'm pretty sure that they actually smoked off that Killjoy util as well, but here comes the Armageddon coming through, just clearing out the front of site as well. But Potter, he's not done. He's holding on the back of site here, getting peeked out. They're gonna fall. Misses the first shot here. Laz is there to cover here, but one more time, and Wiz lands two. Beautifully done. Making sure that everyone just lines up for him. But the lockdown does come through here, and Laz will render down to only 77 HP because of that shock dart. And the rest of Full Sense forced to give away that space because of it.
Yeah, they were thinking about trying to shoot it down initially, but they couldn't quite find it. So now you've got some utility coming back, and you've got the stuns, you've got the Omen Flash. You can still launch a retake.
Paranoia comes through as an immediate response. They're rushing forward, but these blind shots coming from Kiwisi wallbangs the heck out of Laz one. So he falls as well. Tries to swing out here. Endois cannot hold. But the information is known already. Z11 finally figured out the puzzle by the cost of 4 of their teammates' life. But they will take that first point on the board.
Yeah, this was a great round in terms of the micro plays coming out from Z11. Full Sense were reading everything, honestly, but down to it, you know, maybe a whiffed op shot here and there, and then also for this big lineup from Endois. You're talking about him and how sharp he is. He just had great crosshair placement for that moment, but then also for Killsey to hold it post plant. That truly made the difference because he wasn't deterred by neither the Tejo stun or the Omen flash, and that's exactly what you need sometimes.
Despite that, Killsey still got scanned there. The rest of Z11 here still trying to go for this default on mid.
Kind of the same protocols. Full Sense still kind of in control.
That noise does actually put the rest of Z11 at bay. They're like, okay, we heard all the noise there. Let's just back up here, find a different way onto the site.
As well as a bit of droning to check by Leviathan. Ooh, unfortunate for Sephiroth, though. So this does weaken Full Sense's defenses quite a bit. Z11 now beginning to bait more reactions over and then using those reactions to exploit some gaps in their defense.
Pop flashes to make sure no one is holding down Pizza here, but Endois just making sure to just blind shots through those smokes, hoping to find someone pushing through. But Full Sense haven't been doing quite yet here. Ardora, great opening, but Apiña quick to react with the Hunter's Fury as well. Now the rest of Full Sense decide to get a little bit more aggressive, taking up space down mid.
30 seconds left.
But noting that Z11 is going down into A. Already on the site, you have Killsey coming in from main as well. The spike is the last thing to get onto the site as well. A quick shot down to the backside. Util as well to make sure that they're not able to waterfall down onto the site as well. But quickly as they come through onto the site, Laz to trade out Potter, who's already fallen here. And everyone playing for cover, but Bass Babe is the big man this round, finding 3 this round himself.
Oh my god. It came pretty close, didn't it, Tash? Full Sense were just swinging and they were taking full contact. They were just looking to land their shots. They almost did. The Bass Babe truly denied a lot of those moments as well. It's one of these rounds where you have Z11 beginning to work through the mental conditioning that they had from before, and then making some of these movements across. It causes Full Sense to think, hang on, it's about 1 minute 20. They used to be around like catwalk at this point. Maybe I can push out A main. And that's what Sephiroth thought. And that's what happened. Once you lose that controller, you lose some stall potential. And unfortunately for Full Sense, they got overrun in that round. So well played by Z11 to begin to switch up their plans in that way. I imagine that was from the timeout with Coach Fade from before. But now we have a timeout from Coach Leaf on the side of Full Sense as well. So it's starting to heat up. It's starting to get interesting, Tash.
It really was. I mean, it felt very one-sided right in the beginning. You couldn't really tell like what's going on with Z11. Couldn't figure out how to get out to site. Couldn't figure out how to deal with anything. It's as soon as Bass Babe started to really figure things out, especially like you mentioned before, just holding down A, knowing that Sephiroth likes to flank, and just punishing him for it. That was huge. Regardless, now I think for Full Sense, knowing that this timeout has happened, I'm wondering what Z11 is going to do to readjust, because most of what Z11 has been doing is just really playing these defaults, kind of knowing the habits that Full Sense have been doing earlier. And this time around, Z11 going a bit more aggressive, but the same could be said about Full Sense here. Do they check in the corner? They do, and Potter immediately gets demolished, but quick answers back for Leviathan as well. They get one with the with his own little missiles as well. Basket to go huge there, finds Leviathan. They put a lot of damage, but these taps are just too much. And Sephiroth Apiña, 1 each. Z11, Fontus, Killsey answer back, shoot back as well. Killsey, last 1v1 situation, fakes the plant. 1 minute to go, a lot of time, and Killsey knows exactly where to find Laz.
Did you catch that, Tash? He was spraying into the corpse for like 1 second. Not too bad. That's always fun. Some lively competition going on in the server. But at the same time, you're absolutely right. Just switching up the pace, Z11. It was a bit of a eco half buy coming up from Full Sense, and Z11 just wanted to take full advantage of that. So full contact in the round, and then for the last moment, individual brilliance from Killsey, right? Tap on the spike, you know your opponent's gonna peek, hold the angle. Like, Well done, Z11. Like, they're actually showing that they did their prep work for this ascent, and they're doing a good job at adjusting to how Full Sense plays as well. Full Sense, we need to see them starting to get a little bit more proactive on this defense. You have a Tejo, you have refreshable salvos, and you kind of need to use that to assert some dominance somewhere across the map, probably B main. But right now, holding it safe, saving it for, I don't know, retaking space, retaking sites. They're just playing that same default 2-1-2.
Apinya this time as well, gonna make sure that no one is in A main as well. But the thing is, what I'm liking about Z11 this time is they're okay to say, okay, the drone's coming out here, let's just give up the space and refill that space once again once it's gone. Do our best to just really deny that information, and it keeps at Full Sense at bay. Look at where they've really positioned themselves here, down mid, and I think they want to go aggressive here, as Apinya will be the one to just really push out forward. Hadura has an angle tapped here, and somehow, oh my goodness, this guy was watching all the way on tree, turns around, gets two as well, holding down mid side, and somehow all the defenses for Full Sense broken just like that.
3 kills, Tash. I think a couple of the Full Sense players were lined up. That is a grave mistake. Now 2-on-4 retake. Can Laz sneak in?
They know exactly where Sephiroth's coming through here, but the timing that Sephiroth is coming as well will take full advantage of Bass Babe here. Laz, as well as Sephiroth, very much alive. A 2-on-2, very winnable round. But Z11, they're gonna try and hold an angle together. Killsy, quick peek forward, and Laz should fall. It's all down to Sephiroth, the big impact maker for the team in a 1v2. Very winnable. He's already heard the sound of the pop flash. The recon, he's managed to dodge it as well, but time is not on his side. He needs to go and go quickly. Good to find one, but not two. Killsy once again, the final man left standing from Z11, keeps them alive and equalizes the score.
Right, it's another like 1v1 clutch from Killsy. Very strong player he's shaping up to be right now. 7 kills, only 5 deaths, and he's always good on these last few moments. But yeah, like you see that little exchange down towards middle. It's a sound plan coming out from Full Sense. They wanted to go in for that mid crunch, having a player peek out from A short, having 3 players peek out from middle at the same time, but it all falls apart when you got players stacked up to each other. And then for that final few moments, like Laz was meant to take on the 1v1s confidently, accurately, but he kind of fell a little bit short. So tied up score now, and Z11 quite in control. Full Sense needs to reassess the situation, because going for the mid plays doesn't quite work out anymore, and they don't really have the buys in this round. You got Laz trying to play for a one and done around middle, a fake lockdown, but also for Laz to find the angle.
Again, that instant trades from both teams looks really good. Now that recon does get smoked off as well, the angle. So for Leviathan, finding the right timing should be huge, but they are holding, they are waiting, so Fontus quickly deals with him as well. Quickly moving onto the side here, holding down CT. The rest of Full Sense left questioning, and I think they might just try and save here. Maybe, or no, maybe they might call to come in from market.
Spike planted.
Potter's got knives, so yeah.
3 on the side as well. Just trying to make sure that everyone comes in either through stairs, through lane. They're just gonna try and just pop their heads here. And Null Command online as well, so that's a lot of their utility offline at the time being. This has a nice off angle to play with as well, and immediately that flash comes through. Anduin strikes Potter to fall first here. Anduin still holding on the top side, but Apinya walks in somehow undetected as everyone had their sights onto lane. He takes full advantage of that situation. In Full Sense, they bring another point to go ahead of Z11.
Yeah, successful retake coming out from the Full Sense boys this time. You've got the utility, you've got the players, and they just have these little moments where they're able to, you know, pushing off of each other and find those trades.
Quack. He just walks in!
Oh, free is one way to describe it.
I'm still in shock. I thought, you know, personally, I thought you'd have at least one person looking at stairs. Granted, it's a 3v3, right? But Apinya was just walking in like he owns the site.
Ready.
Well, that's what happens when you got teammates who are, you know, distracting your opponents for you, right? But, well, we got to see what happens on the next round now. This time, yes, you got the salvos from Leviathan. Block off A main, maybe take some space off of it. They hear some noise as well, so quite prepared now.
Yeah. Deeper smoke as well here. Ando is going to still try and dash forward. He does. You have the ammunitions come out as well. Ando, what a dash up here, but instantly trade by Laz. Not done yet because the rest of Full Sense playing a little bit more back here. quickly gonna deal with the utility. Timmy the turret now down and out. Z11 scratching their heads. How exactly are gonna break their defense? They do have some ults online as well. They have from the shadows, they have the Hunter's Fury. But in this situation, pinpointing where the members of Full Sense are is the major problem.
All right.
Great hold as well from Leviathan off angle done, and he's just tapping hits here, making it look like aim labs. Kelsey again. The last person holding down this angle, timing not quite there with his teammate. As Hardora is making a beeline for B side. I wouldn't be surprised it's going to be a TP from the shadows, pick up Spike and plant on B.
Maybe, but like...
Yep.
Tash, this is still gonna be 4v2
30 seconds
with
left.
no real guns. Kelsey's pinned down. Z11 are gonna get cooked.
Manages to cross that, but Kelsey, oh, he has other things in mind. He wants to try and wait for some rotations, but Leviathan read that like a book. 3 already to his name. A side in his full control. Do not cross, he says. In a 3v4, not gonna be the easiest play for Hardora here. They already note his position. He's already been located as well. Wall bangs abound. They know where he is. Barely surviving. And just that shock dart is enough to eliminate him. So, Full Sense, another point on the board, lengthening their lead against Z11.
Nice. Yeah, lengthening the lead is exactly what this is. It was bullseye. That was no way Z11 could have won that. You didn't have like real guns, and yes, Kelsey, you know, good attempt at trying to pick them off one by one, by staying over by Wine. But Full Sense, a little bit smarter than that. They also didn't hear your footsteps running away. So that's why he could kind of anticipate that that's the play that he was going for. And then down to Hardora, who is alone. Like, you can't really play for time at that point. You can't backtrack, fall back to site, and try to play around it. There's no way you land these shots. Full Sense are going to overwhelm you with the trade protocol. So, tough round. But we'll see if Z11 can bounce back. They're going back to this 4-1 split. Once again, B main presence, but it's all sussed up by Arpinia.
Saw that trip they put up there specifically for Endoiz there. It's a high one in case he decides to updraft onto the site as well. Arpinia this time decides to hold on to the recon, just instead play off contact.
Just in case, right, Tash? Ooh, it also does slow down Z11.
Standing ahead.
But Full Sense aren't really taking advantage of this either
my
until last swings
God.
out.
He decides to take a gamble, swings in, gets a pick, runs away. The fadeaway is just huge. Arpinia and Laz have a nice crossfire here done. Both sides as well, they can just swing off each other. Arpinia had already spotted one, and Basket, knowing and anticipating where Laz is, immediately going to try and throw out a nade there, but quickly gets demolished. So the rest of Full Sense decide to just retreat deeper into the site itself. The Hunter's Fury just clear on A side as well, excuse me. Gets a tag, but not enough. Basket has somehow managed to walk straight onto the site itself. But Arpinia reset very, very well as Potter rushes up forward, off in hand, finds Pontus. He's not done, but somehow that whip would cost him his life. But Laz as well will try to play tag team here. 1-2, swinging out from so many different parts of the site here. And that recon easily takes him out.
How you like that round, Tash?
It's my favorite round, I think. It's just a great use of util all around.
Couldn't agree with you more. You saw how they were able to stall and prevent Z11 from mounting their attack, right? That cyber cage, the peek out from Laz.
Let's go!
Not huge fan of the whiffs from Potter. It is what it is sometimes, you know, they're assuming targets as you swing out of the smoke. But ultimately, they fully stopped Z11 in their tracks. Z11 just kept trying to push in. Bassmave, though, pretty sneaky. Like, that was an opportunity right there.
In Full Sense, I think they're feeling themselves here. They're trying to go a little bit more aggressive, but somehow that recon once again will cost them their positioning. And Laz and Potter move backwards, somehow still managing to hold on to the site. 2 down already, 3 more to go. The rest of Z11 have no clue where to pivot to, but instead they're gonna try and hide in those smokes, trying to make sure and figure out. I mean, they have a minute and 15 seconds to play with. They have some time to just really cut noise, go for a re-hit if they want to. They can explore mid as well. That shot dart does manage to get a bit of damage onto Hardora. Quite a lot of damage, in fact.
Z11's got to be careful. I mean, it feels as though they've kind of pigeonholed themselves into B site, and they know that that's what they've got at this point. So their only option is to just try to creep in. But you got to watch out for that op. Potter's got the angle locked down.
think Bassbabe somehow suspects it. He's gonna crab walk forward, and that crab walk throws off the hole that Potter has. So one member down and out here, but coming in here from mid-side, Leviathan goes huge, finding Bassbabe there. And now it's another 2 more players to worry about. Apinya is still very much on the side. The rest of Full Size just moving around slowly, creeping up here and playing off angles with that smoke. Leviathan has found 2. Hardora left alone here. Salvo is coming out as well. He hasn't made a noise yet. Now he does. Hasn't got spotted out yet by the stealth drone, but Hardora somehow manages to clear out Leviathan as well. With 6 seconds to go here, 32 HP left. Not the easiest thing in the world, but Apinya does make sure that he's not able to set foot onto the site. And I have to say, I love how Full Sense are okay with kind of retreating onto the site and playing hold from the back of the depths of the boathouse.
They're playing the macro game. That's what it is, Tash. You see a lot of these moments. I still... Potter's within these offshots. He shouldn't be letting that happen. As an op...
It wasn't the cleanest. Regardless, this is where they play on defense, and I feel like they have a nice balance for this second half as well.
With the tried and true composition. So everyone already knows what they are supposed to do. The thing is, you gotta adjust to what Full Sense might do. And right now, they're attempting that by pushing and peeking down mid.
And somehow, I think Full Sense has sort of an idea that this is going to happen here. Z11 took up so much space down mid here. In fact, they're going to try and challenge B main. And the rest of Full Sense, they're just holding these corners. They have a nice crossfire held as well. And immediately, the first person down is going to be Bassbabe. Killsy coming on down mid. Good answers as well. But Apinya coming in from bottom mid as well has another thing to play in mind. And Endoist will be the second point of contact here. Not able to land his shots here in Full Sense. It's just going to wait out the dash. Finds nothing, and Endoist forced to retreat away.
Gun here.
And at this point, this is when Full Sense has numbers. So it's working out beautifully for Full Sense and their attack. And look at their players, Tash. They got so much utility. Leviathan can salvo, stun. You got the recon. You got cams as well. Maybe Lad's gonna play flank watch. There's so much they can do to explode in sight.
Ooh, what a double peek as well, but somehow Endoist still wins the initial pick off here. Potter down, he tries to go for more, can't, because Leviathan is ready. Instantly jumps into the site, finds Endoist, knows exactly where he is. Kill trip set up as well. They get the plant right in the nick of time here. The location where Fontes is already known as well. Hardora is going to come in from market side. Leviathan coming in, holding down B main with his life here. He hears the footsteps. He is going to be able to crunch with his teammates as well. The paranoia, the smoke's all set as well. You have the one side of the area done, but for Full Sense, it's all about just corralling the players of Z11 and taking them down. This is a very dominant lead that's been built by Full Sense here.
Right? We've seen, like, you know, a couple of good jabs, couple good punches coming out from Z11. Endoist, that was sharp. Like, this kid is playing pretty well. His reactions are on point with this, and he's able to take down Potter because of it. But ultimately, in terms of the strategy, the macro game, Full Sense have Z11 boxed in with their reads, their plays. They heard noise around Catwalk, and they intentionally left Arpinia up top mid, and they made some noise pushing down tiles as well. Next round, now they got the guns. They know they can walk all over this A site.
That's a nice setup, right? You send out the salvos, you send out the recon at the same time, and while you're so distracted by the salvos and pushing into and taking a bit more space, the recon still managed to hit. So it's a lot of information already gathered by the Z11 players. Sorry, by Full Sense, excuse me.
Yeah, so bait out the util, you bait out the smokes. Now you can go into B, where unfortunately Hardora won't be able to throw out another smoke. The only thing that Full Sense has to watch out for, maybe Bassbabe, maybe Potter, not Potter, maybe Endoist if he was here, but he's not. So, like, this is a full rotation, slow creep into B. Like, and Z11 are doing nothing to read this, barring the turret, and that's all they got. So, full contact from pistols now.
And Bassbabe is already so low. They're holding down Switch as well, but Apinya quick to walk up, shoot Z11 in the face. As Bassbabe kills C down as well. Make it 3, add Endoist to that kill list. They get the plant. The other 2 members for Z11, they only have, what, Sheriffs in hand? Yeah, we've seen Sheriffs in tier 2 that just completely demolish here. But against numbers, against situations where the rest of Full Sense are playing as a team here. Look at that high-low coming in from stairs. You have a double swing coming in from lane as well. What can you do? That's not a lot.
Go for exits maybe, but they're unfortunately going to get peeked by Potter and team.
That's a flawless for Full Sense as well. I have to say, Full Sense has got Z11 read like a book. I'm talking to you like the best storybook of their lives, memorizing line by each line. They know exactly how exactly Z11 holds and how exactly to bait out that util like you mentioned just now.
Exactly, and that's just everything that's going on. However, next round coming up, this is where we began to see Full Sense kind of dropping the ball a little bit as well. So who knows how it's going to go. You do have light shields all across, maybe except for Potter, but you have an outline in the hands of Sephiroth as well.
Surely do. That shock dart does hit one here, but Bazbabe this time around playing a little bit more deeper on the side here, playing Crossfire of Edwards, and this is what we call a meat grinder. Z11. This is a flawless back in your face to Full Sense, and they seem very much alive this round.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sudden call from Leviathan to go in for this full B rush, and it got fully well received by Z11. And that's the thing about these jet comps now. It's been, I don't want to say overplayed, but everyone's used to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got that updraft tailwind in, and then Z11 kind of knows, like, okay, we're anticipating this already. Like, hello, we're running the same comp. So they kind of know how to play around Potter, and that's why he's not been able to come online so far. Next round up, though, and we got the full buyout from Full Sense.
An aggression coming in from Endoist as well, walking down mid-side area. He's gonna meet so many players in his face here. But Hadora, as well as Bazbabe, they are a tag team that's gonna be avenging their duelist death. But Sephiroth as well, not able to hold. Laz, he tries to make things huge, but can't. Because Z11, they're playing a more aggressive game, taking up space, and being able to play that first contact kill.
And what happens when you play aggressively all of a sudden, Tash?
You catch Full Sense off guard. They're not able to anticipate this.
Exactly.
But they can't do this all the time. Full Sense is going to be anticipating this now.
But it does give them some momentum, because take a look at what's happening right now. Full Sense can't buy up. That was a great swing round coming out from Z11. The sudden tiles crunch, and Full Sense had no idea how to react. I mean, not gonna lie, but that was a round where, unfortunately for Full Sense, they weren't able to anticipate it, and now they got to pay the price. So, trying to do what they can. You do have some guns scrounched up together, maybe looking for a couple of picks around 8.
Anyway, so you can tell he's aggressive. Him and Hardora just rushing up forward, taking up that space. But they're gonna be throwing in their own util to push the rest of Z11 back here. So Z11, understanding the situation, gonna play behind the smokes instead, hoping to see Full Sense push them. But that's not happening because Full Sense decided to change where they decided to hit. It's gonna be toward the mid-side area. Yeah. Maybe they can re-hit toward A if they want to. They can. They have a lot of options right now.
Well, the main thing is also just them drawing these smokes out from Hardora. So off of that, now they have some more options. Maybe they can push somewhere else because you don't have as many defensive utilities to throw in. So possibly to sneak back in through from this A short position. That's what they're trying.
Hardora quick on that as well, but it's going to be quickly just flushed out from the Hunter's Fury. But Potter, he's going to move in forward. Pontus cannot hold this time. I have to say, it's already a big pickoff from Potter because that's their flasher out. I mean, yeah, they have Hardora, but it's not going to have that hot flash impact for Bazbabe. It's going to have some blind pickoffs through the smoke. Sephiroth quick to answer back, just playing off where the shots are coming from. Killseed is off angle, could go massive. No, I was wrong. As Sephiroth was quick to check him, gets a gun online as well to hold, and they get the plant down. The rest of Z11 is here already. He's got that space, but not in the best of situations to figure out where exactly the holes and crossfires are.
Still good to try though.
Pina with a classic, kind of big one onto Hardora as well as Anduis. Tries to find the final member here. Pina, from the gun he took from his teammate, is the gun to use to eliminate himself as well. So Full Sense, they've definitely found their footing once again here. They found the momentum and they're gonna just roll off on it.
And that was like a half buy-ish round, right? Only a few members had the real rifles, but because of the smart macro game, they've been able to break apart and force Z11 to disperse. You have these little moments where you bait out the smokes, go in for that quick peek, and off the peak, some of Z11 players, they thought it was going to be an A hit. They over-rotated. Because of that, Full Sense then were able to get that spike safely down to the B site. Not only did they do that, they were so strong, so sharp, they also left Arpinia on another one of these delayed lurks where he's then able to take another player down with a classic. Like, Full Sense, they're very much so in control of all of this. They are the first team to reach double digits. Now they're on to 11, Tash. Z11, it's a good attempt at trying to throw Full Sense off balance with this Ascent pick, but it's quite clear that there's also a lot more prep work that needs to be done because there are a lot of gaps in how they are defending the map right now, or even just on the attack, right? Because they're falling to a lot of these like baits and stuff here and there.
I think, you know, when I look at how both these teams play attack, it's kind of very similar, right? Just baiting out util early, trying to go for that first contact, and then just move away, kind of maneuver themselves away from the map. But I think the difference, the glaring difference I'm seeing right now is that Z11 likes to go a little bit more aggressive than Full Sense, take up space, especially onto mid, and they tend to get punished for it.
Oh, we saw some of that earlier. They also did punish Full Sense for a couple of rounds, so, you know, props to them for that. But we'll see how Full Sense continues to pilot these initial openings so far. Drones, they spot out something towards the middle. But also, interestingly enough, I think Endoist is trying to snipe someone down if they do try to peek off from tiles.
That recon doesn't find him yet, so at the very least, Endo's positioning has not been seen quite yet here. Leviathan, his tiny little peaks does throw him off here. He activates the tailwind. He's not able to really move away. Time is running out here. He has to run away. The Armageddon just to clear out one corner here, but this triple swing coming from mid will throw him off, and just as easily as that, Endoist will fall, and Bassbait will refill that space that's given away by his teammate. Excuse me.
You saw that, right? That's like all Leviathan. He saw just one tiny piece of info, made the call for Armageddon, everyone swings together. Now, Z11 trying to flood back in, though.
Bassbait made it huge just now, catching two in the midst of that. Their timing worked too well as well for that trade. He held that corner to perfection. Now the rest of Full Sense already noted their positions as well into B main here. It does give a lot of information. The alarm bells are ringing. They are kept at bay, but one of them does move into the area of logs. Apina somehow, that crouch saves his life, gets a kill onto Killsey. The rest of the team of Z11 here just delaying for time, and in fact, it is a meat grinder as the rest of the Full Sense try to make it onto the side to plant, and I'm not sure, a bit of silliness there onto lane as Laz just runs for his life there. So at the very least, Full Sense have a bit of humor there.
Maybe a bit. The poor guy ran out of ammo, Tash. It feels bad, you know. He's trying to stay alive. He was feeling the pressure, running out of time in the round, but it's like click, click, click. Oh no, my gun's got no more bullets. I need more bullets.
I need more bullets, he says as he swings his knife. Oh my god.
You know, they still got the round nonetheless. Z11. It's Bass Babe. There was a moment of hesitation from Full Sense, and unfortunately they also once again got punished for it. So back to defaults, back to running the tactical cycle. They're trying to create some pressure against Hardora. They need to get those smokes away from him.
This time around is different from Z11's hold. Instead of holding down mid, they put util there instead. In fact, stacking 3 on B. Hardora here, just trying to see if he can play off a little bit more aggressively. I mean, playing from behind dice here, trying to see if anyone would just challenge his smoke. But instead, Full Sense answered back by putting their own smoke instead, so they can't push out.
Yeah. That's why you see him rotating now. You've got Lazin on the lurk, though. He's trying to catch Bass Babe if he does come back into that position that he was playing before, while the rest of his team goes back in through a short.
Try moving together as well. You get the fragment just to delay that movement. Unfortunately for Hardora, his position's noted already, so behind dice isn't the safest place for him to be. But Laz says, you know what, I don't care about your alarm bar, I'm just gonna break it, and Bass Babe is gonna answer back by putting down his lockdown. So the rest of the team here, they can just move back away. They already pulled out the lockdown, and immediately there is the call for Full Sense. Just go aggressive here onto the side. Full Sense, they got a nice off angle there from Sephiroth, from Potter as well, to find 2 kills as well. Leviathan holding down window, making sure to find Bass Babe in the midst of that rotation. Gonna quickly reposition toward tree once again, and Killsey this time left all alone. I think it might be the call to save.
Has to be. You're going up against map point potentially. There's not much else that you can do, but you still have to be so cautious because the round's not over. Laz was seen lurking around here somewhere, and the rest of Full Sense goes hunting.
Slowly trying to make their way here. A drop down there by Sephiroth. Footsteps noted by Killsey. Decides, okay, I'm not gonna try and give away my position at the time being here. But I have to say, this time around, Full Sense was very tactically moving around the map. You're getting picks one by one. In fact, pulling away that lockdown, selling the snake oil. And
snake oil.
I mean, you gotta sell the snake oil, and they did.
True. I mean, that's kind of Ascent in a nutshell. It's a very tactical map. And because you have a very well-drilled team like Full Sense to be able to run strats like these, they're able to trick Z11 a lot of times. In fact, Z11 are feeling that pressure. That's part of the reason why that lockdown was placed quite early on. He was just trying to do it in case Full Sense was gonna go in that full push down market. So tough luck, but Full Sense now at map point. They've got a lot of guns. Fanta's a little bit lacking. And it's once again that same routine of trying to do something against Hardora, get the smokes out.
Cage triggered.
Oh, Potter falls as well. It's aggressive push out onto the area as well. Now, coming into this time, it's just a lot of blind smokes as well, and Sephiroth has pushed up all the way onto A main as well, so they did challenge that smoke and did come out from it as well, by the cost of Potter's life. This early might be a dangerous game to play, but not for Sephiroth. He doesn't care, he just drive peeks forward and somehow still wins out the duel against Hardora.
Yeah, good individual moments, but keeping our eyes on the map, Full Sense, it's just again some fake presence. They're creeping and concealing a lot of their movements. In fact, they hear Killsey.
A lot of noise here as well. Nice off-angle played here from Bassbait. Trades as well back from Leviathan. In fact, gonna try and push out here. Killsey, he disrespects the util. Gets one kill. Yeah, that's fine. But because Sephiroth's able to take up space onto site, a nice crossfire means an instant trade to his teammate. Leviathan easily gets onto site. It's a 2-on-2 still here. Fontus, yeah, with a Bulldog. But I've seen big moments happen with that particular gun.
It's a 2-on-2 without utility on the side of Full Sense. They've spent most of it getting into site, so good chance for Fontus now.
Tailwind activated as well. They do have the Tailwind and Dash as well online. And goes huge here. Tries to go for more, and he does. Sephiroth gets caught in the midst of that swing out as well. So a great round from Z11, and they stay alive another round.
Yeah, incredible job by Z11. They had players like Bassbabe as well as Killsey who were able to trickle Full Sense down as they tried to push into sight. They know that that's what Full Sense wants to do, so trying to break them down as they go in forces Full Sense to spend more utility, and with that, they were definitely pinned down around Boathouse. If you watch the 2-on-2, Fontus initially throws out that flash. You can hear the wind-up sound, and that's what baits well, not Andois. It baits Potter into peeking out against Andois, who was already holding the ankle. So good retake coming out from Z11, but they need to do it for 4 more rounds, and we'll see if they can do just that.
It's been such back and forth on this last few rounds here, and I think for a Full Sense right now, they have a lot of ults. They have Hunter's Fury, they have Neural Theft, they have the Blades for Potter as well. I think for them, this looks to be a solid round here if they're able to play their cards right. And here comes the Hunter's Fury coming out here real quick for kills from Killsey. Doesn't get a tag. Not enough to really get that impact that he wanted this early into the round.
And if that happens really early on, you're thinking one of two things. Either the enemy team's hiding behind the Hunter's Fury, or they're somewhere else on the map. So you're not entirely sure.
Nice arrow as well to their name. Hardora good to open one, but Potter as well to find him real quickly as well. But they aren't able to breach that side. That fragment thrown in does buy them a lot of time, so they're not able to explode as quickly as they want onto the side as well. But the rest of Full Sense now left in a situation where they're like, okay, maybe it's time for us just quick rotate onto B here. And I think for them, it's just a lot of re-pings as well. It might be a re-hit, who knows?
Just taking their time as well. You know, if Arpinia can sell this take and Z11 again over rotates, like, it's gonna weaken the defenses on the A site. Oh no, I don't like this, Tash.
He's alone here, the recon to come out as well. Timid turret broken, presence detected. But the rest of Z11, no! They don't want to buy the snake oil this time, but Potter quick to find Anduis. Nice off angle there by door to keep him at bay. Killsey, nice flank as well. This could be a nice little crunch from both different angles here. Needs a meat grinder here to timing is good, but Potter goes huge. He finds 3, quickly reacts to his teammate. Now, in a 1v3 Babe, he needs to go huge here. But does he know there's someone up top side? Here's Apinya. He drops down. He's alone, and Potter with a 4K to end the game at 3rd.
Starting to be, you know, a really strong agent. We don't see it that often on Split, but I think there can be some serious cases for it because of the sheer wall and how it just becomes another obstacle that you have to work against. Meanwhile, for Z11 though, having Yoru, you got this double duelist, you've got the double controller as well. Maybe Viper is a bit of a pseudo sentinel. It's something that a lot of teams have run in the past before. So if they can still make it work, if they can use their Yoru for some like tricks here and there, they could possibly play spoiler to full sense.
Curious to see how it's gonna work here. I mean, Potter now swapping into that raise, and the same could be said about Endo. I feel like I haven't seen a Sky in a hot minute, especially on this map. So, I mean, they did start off huge with that Trailblazer down mid. They've spotted out someone onto vents as well. So, they have all the idea in the world where exactly some of the players of Z11 are. They don't have to aggress too much, and in fact, they're gonna move the spike all the way to A main. But Kelsey, he's going huge and aggressive here. Apinya gets caught off guard, but quick trades there onto Leviathan. This late rotation pays dividends.
And that's one of the things about full sense. Starting things off this way, they do not leave a player alone, so trades are quickly found. And it does pull some rotation back into A as well for Z11. They just lost a player there, so they're kind of worried. Which gives the call for full sense to push into B. Ooh, good mid check though.
Yeah, that was a very risky check even. I just survived with all the information here, but Leviathan quickly finds him out. Gonna isolate one angle, at least toward vents there. And for somehow his teammate not able to find a trade here. They clear out stairs here. Potter goes huge and aggressive, but these classic pickoffs coming from Endois is just massive. But the same could be said about Leviathan. Him and Laz, 1 kill each here as they fully take over the B site, leaving Fontus all alone. Granted, Fontus had some big impacts just now in the last game as that KO, but this time around, a different agent. He does have the hunt online here, but decides to drive peek forward. The rest of full sense very much ready and waiting for him.
Very ready. Very demure, very mindful.
I think we've moved on from that meme quack.
Hey, I don't know why. I like the old memes. I always cycle over them through. I just don't catch up to the new ones. But we just saw an entire round where it's like full 1v1s. Like everyone from Z11 died 1 by 1.
Yeah,
you know.
Really did. I mean, they were kind of stretched all around the map, considering everything. In full sense, they just kind of move in as a pack. I love that. And this time around, they are already anticipating this aggressive push out from Z11. The arc force comes through and tied by Babe. So at the very least, this time Apinya knows that might happen, swings out a little bit more wider, quickly takes off the head of Babe. Ooh, I have to say that's a good read by Kelsey. Great crosshair placement as well, just knocks the heck out of Laz. So he's down and out this round.
Kind of understands that with the gun rounds, full sense would play the 4-1 split. So not too bad. That is a weapon picked up. We'll see if they can do more damage, right? You've got the info that it's going to be a B hit as well.
Paranoia as well as the pain shells to keep the rest of Z11 at bay here. And Z11 this time very patient, looking to play off each other instead. Now Heaven is already smoked off. Nope, it dissipates here. And Endo is going to try and kick things off there with the pain shells. And Apinya, fortunately for him, not able to survive that initial hit, will go down. But he's already done his job there, got the spike down.
And you got the shear wall in front of the spike as well. So it comes down to full sense. They just need to play around the spike.
Sephiroth holding here. Good for one, and Leviathan just makes it so difficult to deal with. Nice crossfires from behind Pillar as well. One toward the backside and one all the way in front of Heaven. I have to say, full sense, they have an idea how to play crossfires. They always have this buddy system going around here when it comes to trades, and it's not changing from Ascent all the way to Split.
Yeah, we keep seeing it all throughout, especially in Split right here. You really needed that. It was kind of like almost a 3v4 at some point, but because one man
from one man, he says he's not wrong.
Peeked out. Yeah, he's not wrong. It's an anti-eco though, so it's nothing too much to write home about. But we'll see how the next round goes.
Kelsey still playing this very aggressive angle, walks up, shoots the cam. He's gonna just reposition himself all the way up ramps here. I think Full Sense kind of has an idea that this is happening, so they do mark him at the very least. Not anymore though. Looking the wrong way here. Could potentially be an insanely dangerous situation. It does. And Fontus reacts quickly as well. Full Sense completely crunched down onto A main as well. He goes for another one as well. Potter down and out. Leaving Apinya and Sephiroth to their own devices here, all the way down mid. They have the spike in their hands. Hardora walks down B main here. And suddenly, everything that Full Sense had falls apart. At the very least, Full Sense, Sephiroth, gonna quickly find Hardora in the midst of that rotation. But coming on sewers, they already pinged it. They know where it is. Just holding down main side area as well. And Killsy coming up forward here. Nice off-angle plate that crouch as well. This is Killsy's side, and you cannot cross.
I was gonna be like, if he got one more kill, I was like, that's my boy Sephiroth. Don't let them get a flawless. But he only got one. It's still not a flawless, but not my boy. Not good.
Whoa!
I'm kidding. But so this round truly paints the story of how Full Sense's macro game is one of their biggest strengths, but it's also kind of their weakness as well. Sometimes they get too into their own heads and they take the round really slow, and that's when players like Killsy actually get to pick them off one by one. I mean, he has that gate crash, so he's always going to be peeking out early on in the rounds.
But this time around, they punish him for picking out early there. Quack, that's a curse. Anyways, coming through here, Adora from the side of Smoke here finds a nice off angle, and the miss of them dropping down the util, the ult. He gets another Leviathan down as well. So that means right now, despite everything, they do still get caught by the Steel Garden. Bought enough time to keep them at bay, but the Pop Flash is gonna push Basbait Bap, and he's gonna push his sights onto Heaven side.
Last watching the flank as well in case Endois does send in for that flank.
And they know it, just that. They've already had the information. That cage keeps him at bay at the very least. Sephiroth waiting for the right possible moment, and he does find the golden egg as well, as Fontus looking to just swing him out here. Can't do that. Sephiroth this time around probably heard your calls, Quack, and decides it's time for me to step up.
Yeah, tough round, but that's exactly the whole thing. You know, sometimes it's their weakness, sometimes it's their strength. This time they had multiple players in towards Garage, so taking down Killsy, expecting him to peek out every now and again, it just happened so well. You got the Trailblazer as well, which did stun up the next opponent, so then you have the three players to just layer and lurk in everything. Once you find a golden egg, you hatch that egg, it turns into a chicken, and then you lay another egg, Tash. That's the whole cycle. Biology. What's up?
I actually failed biology, but anyways, not letting Quack embarrass me this time. I'll embarrass myself first.
Biology is failing you also.
Regardless, coming into this round here, Z11, they're still playing the same aggressive games here. I'll have a nice two players holding down mid-side area. This time around, they already knew that Killsy is gonna peek out there. They already pre-fire him, so he's forced to gate crash away.
And that's kind of how Full Sense are reading the game right now already, right? So next round's coming up now. They're going to be trying to get that initially and then to find some other space on the map. You see them kind of lurking towards B, and also this presence from mid, which they can then use to branch out across the map based on how Z11 reacts. So they're taking things slow right now. So far, they've gotten some information, and through that little bits of information, it allows for Leviathan to, well, be that lurk player. He gets that kill on towards B.
I've got your trail.
It's a good read, honestly. They knew already that Hardora also likes to lurk as well, but Baswave, just now in the previous round, he made it look like aim labs. So this time around, he's not able to give that situation. Able to at least trade out onto his teammate as well, Leviathan to fall, but Potter as well, not giving a lot of space for the rest of Z11 to even shoot. But anyways, at the very least, it's 1v3. We've seen this happen before, some of the most insane clutches. But Full Sense, I don't think they want to leave anything to chance. They have a nice crossfire from main as well as pillar, a high-low as well. The cam potentially already spotted him out here, so it's a good call to save given the fact that he only has 400 creds.
Yeah, maybe a hero weapon for the next round. He is 2 away from the showstopper, so I think that's kind of one of the bigger points to think about as well. If someone had peeked into him, maybe then he would have gone for it, but that didn't quite happen, now did it? So again, whole Full Sense game plan. Take things somewhat slow and steady, you know, always bunched up together. Maybe they take some space, they leave someone lurking somewhere, and it's through these little plays, these little moments where they retrieve information or the lurk springs out. Z11 unfortunately get punished for it. So you need to start seeing how Z11 might be able to
30 seconds left.
either go in for a set plan or start to hang back a bit more. You have the double duelist composition, and you would assume that it works out better for them in retakes.
Yeah, actually a good call. Honestly, we did see them try to play retakes as well, but I feel like they're just a little bit disjointed maybe. Perhaps they just set, set at bay from the util by full sense, but this is a new round. And in this new round as well, they did have a hero rifle at the very least from Endois from the last round. They have sheriffs in hand as well, alongside a shorty from Killsy. So we're gonna see how exactly they play this. So full sense this time around, hang up very behind, hoping to see Z11 go aggressive, because that's been the case every time they're on a save.
There.
Not this time. So full sense also starting to think a little bit. They got to be careful in case there are like some cheeky shotguns. But then that's also when they get to really go in for the full hit. You know, you've got the utility, you got some information now from Sephiroth, and they could just flash and burst into a site.
It's a very interesting TP. But Z11, Killsy this time goes dimensional drift forward as well. But full sense deciding to go aggressive, just breaking onto the side despite the utility, tries to challenge. Endois with that rifle he got in the last round goes huge here. And last, anticipating that Killsy will try and jump out of the dimensional drift with that shorty, does not allow him to be able to take the full value of that gun.
Rotations to A red though.
30 seconds left.
They already granted on the side as well. They do have one player waiting onto CT side, setting up the smoke there onto heaven, onto the back of side as well. They ping it just to see if they can just buy that fake that he's already in the back of side as well. But his positioning noted by the rest of full sense. And Laz, what a shot. Hardora didn't even stand a chance in the midst of that swing. Regardless, they get a spike plant. Gonna just swing up the back of side. Apinia's position already compromised. They know exactly where he is here. He jumps up forward, puts in a lot of damage, and decide to entry onto the side another way. Not the easiest to break onto side as well with the smokes, with the sheer wall. Leviathan quick to find Bass Babe as well with that outlaw. And this off-angle top side from Sephiroth just gonna dwindle now the HP and numbers. But anyways, he's putting in a lot of damage to the members of Full Sense at the very least. A lot of value coming in from that Phantom. But the rest of Full Sense say they want to save the guns. But Leviathan, he's gonna say, nah, that's enough from you, dog. And they just move away.
Yeah, I would like to see a timeout from Z11 soon, hopefully, maybe, I don't know. They get to buy up now for the next round, and they kind of need it, considering the fact that they're down 1-5. So, again, you're seeing a lot of these rounds where full sense, early presence, and then they had last for that lurk around the middle. Because of that lurk, you know, you notice that Potter wasn't, well, the team wasn't fully executing off of Garage. It was just Potter blast packing on the site. What that does is pull some of the attention or the rotations away, which then hopefully allows for Last with his mid lurk to pick off kills here and there. Although that didn't fully happen the way that they intended to, Laz was still able to take space from middle, from mailroom, and because of those little instances, Z11 starts to panic. So they really need to find ways to play together as a team, not necessarily fall prey again to the snake oil salesman that is Full Sense sometimes.
Premium
in a
or
lot of these
non-premium?
rounds. There is no premium. Snake oil is bad. Permanently, always. Premium or cheap, as long as it's snake oil, is fake. It's fake. That's what snake oil means.
He thought I'm serious, guys. So disappointed in you, Quack.
I just gotta explain in case people actually think you are serious.
Oh man, regardless, this time around Z11 have two ults to play with at the time being. They also have an op from Killsy, so this could be a very different kind of game here. As I think for Z11, I think where Killsy has positioned himself is interesting here. He's going to play on the top side of A. In fact, he's going to try and challenge this off angle. Hot. Quickly demolished as well from Full Sense. Still, information is information, and the response to that is just to quickly throw out a Prowler.
Scout destroyed.
Portal closed.
His hold is here, the jump forward as well. Unfortunately, the amount of bodies crossing out forward just throws off Killsy's crosshair. But the spray is coming from Frontis. It lands huge. He finds two, in fact. And Full Sense suddenly lose two. 3. Just like that. The rest of Full Sense here left to pick up the pieces. The op in hand from Killsy as well. Unfortunately for him, the headshot not landing right through quite yet. As Apinya left alone in a 1v5. to go a bit aggressive. The Haunt notes where he is. The blast pack's broken, but it's three-way hold with the op with 3 different members. It's gonna be a hard ask to go ahead and push this. Yep, granted, the wall does go up
30
here.
seconds
Apina
left.
tries to retrieve that spike. And Kelsey,
Out of
all he has
charges.
to do is just shoot a flawless round here, and that's off the one timeout.
Yeah, not too bad.
Out of charges.
You love the off being put in. It wasn't really
Portal
sounded
closed.
off until the push started going through, right? But that's where you really got to question Full Sense's decision sometimes. I think they kind of got played by themselves also. Z11, I imagine maybe the call was something like, you know they're going to bait their utility and then make a play off of that. So after the Prowler was shot down, Z11 was kind of prepared for the hit already. And that's why you saw Fontes falling all the way to the back of screens, and he took the shots through the smoke. Now Potter has an op of his own though.
Up versus up. And Potter is just faster on that contact as well. And Kelsey this time knocked down entirely. Neural theft online and already uploaded as well. So all the positions noted as well. The rest of Z11 just scrambling to conceal where they are. Here comes a showstopper as well. It's Full Sense. They're going full aggressive out here as well. There's 2 ults popped down already, and the rest of Z11 forced to give away that site straight to the smokes. Hardora will be kept at bay because of the paint shells as well. Nice little swing out here from Full Sense. Sephiroth and his teammates as well, putting in a lot of damage onto Hardora. A good headshot onto Bassbabe just quickly demolishes him. But the same could be said about Endois. Leviathan, he's not done. A shorty in hand for Potter as well, despite the fact that the paranoia did hit him. But they're not done. Responses here has to play that retake. Knows where exactly some of the players are. You even saw that Arc Rose come up forward as well. They don't know where one is. The off shot from Potter rings through here. Hardora isolating the angles, but there's not a lot for him to play with. There is the sheer wall. He TPs away, but the rest of Full Sense were very much anticipating this play.
Fantastic orchestrated round by Full Sense. You saw that showstopper play, and you really have to admire how they're able to relay off of one another like that also. I mean, sure, it's some tiny mishaps, shall we say, with the op coming out from Kelsey like that. And Full Sense instantly knows, you take one player down over A, Z11 might begin to rotate. Because of those rotates, I can then take B or create some havoc around B. And that's what that showstopper did. Even though they didn't really have smokes around back B, they still checked and cleared so much of it thanks to the flash or the paint shells that they had. And now they have a pretty good chance at cracking Z11's economy. Full Sense taking things a little bit slower, watching the angles. You got Laz on the lurk towards A main this time.
Early smoke as well to keep the rest of Full Sense at bay. Being very patient right now.
Smoke coming out from Hardora. Full Sense still just trying to wait out these smokes. I think that's kind of all they need to do. The Boombot and the Trailblazer might allow them to check even further as well. And right now, they're concealing most of their movements, just looking for that surprise kill. It didn't quite go the way of Potter, though.
Kelsey able to just really gate crash away as well. Just gonna clear out the corner with the util. But Hardora, he's still holding up very true. His off angle as well from Bassbabe. His armor shredded down already here. And Full Sense somehow going a bit more aggressive, and Bassbabe goes huge there. Finds 2 to his name. Endois with a bit of a whiff, not able to find that last mark, which is Apina. Force back as well. Still relatively healthy though, as Leviathan will be hit by the paranoia. Barely does, but because his teammate was there, they can just play off each other here. Good crossfires all around, and Full Sense, they're not able to hold. I think it might just be a call to just save at this point.
Yeah, you got 20 seconds left, and whoa.
It's a challenge.
Okay.
My ult's ready.
Wins it.
Yeah, you just don't want to give too many alt points or
10
any.
seconds left.
Well, yeah, mainly alt points over to Z11 at this point. Bassbabe does have the Viper Spit up already though, but that's the other thing as well. It's just you have a lot of these little moments all throughout the round where Full Sense kind of, do I want to say it, like get tunnel vision? Like they have a very clear intention of wanting to bait reactions out or try to poke someone around Mail, get their entry in towards B Tower, B Heaven, and then they forget that there are more players from Z11. Bassbabe can kind of rotate back up from vents. They weren't expecting him there. But it's a lot of these times where we see Full Sense get shot down through smokes. And that's exactly how Z11 finds rounds so far. So next one coming up, you have Viper Spit. You got Endois with the Showstopper. There's a lot that Z11 could do to, once again, punch back against Full Sense.
Kelsey's still playing the same game. Go a bit more aggressive, take out space, play off angles here. This time around, he's not peeking too early. In fact, he's trying to make sure, just play off the idea that Full Sense would cross. Maybe check him a bit too late. He's able to just get a pick off and then just gate crash out, excuse me.
Laz is the one with an op as well, so this is kind of curious. Some noise being made known. And Kelsey's looking for the kill.
Oh, he's not looking at the right area. And Kelsey, he capitalizes. It's perfect situation for him. Taking out Laz, taking away that op as well. And Hardora, he's been like a huge gatekeeper for this side as well. He smoked out as well. Puts a bit of chip damage onto Leviathan because of that. And he's not done, just spraying it through the smoke and somehow toward the other side of the map here. Z11, find 2. Yeah, granted, Apinya does answer. But a lot of these kills coming through here from the A side have just been just random shots through the Viper's toxic screen. Now Leviathan at the very least does find a pick off onto Hardora, but it's not going to be the easiest for him to get onto the site. The spike all the way onto main as well. So, time, barely any 20 seconds, so he's just going to try see if he can get any pickoffs, perhaps. I think he might.
No, 10 seconds.
10 seconds
Leviathan
left.
will be able to just save. The spike is, you know, way too far away, and Z11's not going to give him anything for free either. So, not too bad of a round coming out from Z11. Full Sense, they weren't expecting Kelsey to be that close. They, well, weren't expecting, you know, to be picked off like that either, I think. That's one of the things that Laz does need to watch out for.
Look at that. It's just blind sprays through that toxic screen. And I think a lot of these rounds where you have the toxic screen out, you have those smokes as well. I think Z11 has done a great job just spraying through the smokes and knowing that there's going to be bodies on the other side.
Sure. But yeah, you know, Full Sense calling the timeout. Certainly needing new ideas, fresh ideas, to say the least, because this slow approach hasn't quite been working out too well for them so far. And that's kind of the concerning thing as well, is that we've only seen this one style coming out from them. There's not a lot of variety.
Yeah.
It's always been like, you know, slow and steady, calculated push all throughout. They haven't gone for like a full set execute. They kind of attempted at it at one point, but also it wasn't really a full execute. Not very sure. I'm like kind of confused by what's going on right now between both teams, because that was an odd round where Laz just simply got picked off. The rest of the team trying to refill space, but all of them just getting picked apart also. So if anything, Z11, good job, landed their shots. Now they're sitting on a lot of ults. They could still end this first half in a favorable way.
They could. The only ult that Full Sense has to work with right now are the Seekers. And I think the Seekers are great, honestly. It's good to just really keep them at bay, keep them on the site, just put the shim off if they want to, and they can just swing off of that. But regardless, there's still another 4 ults, as you mentioned just now, that they can play with. Kelsey hold down mid here, pop flash, just anti as well. But they're not going to follow up.
No, they want to keep that op hidden, Tash. So Kelsey's just going to lock down this lane as much as possible. And you got the smokes all across the other parts of the map as well. So finally firing it off, because the timer's down to 1 minute 20 seconds. He's gonna gate crash back into another spot. And this is when there's gonna be some guesswork coming out from Full Sense. They're not sure where this op's gonna be.
But they guess right here, jump up forward there, shorty to the face, and Fontus to fall. And just now, while the Great Crash was in the right spot here, they maybe overthought where the rotation's happening here. Apinya tucked in the corner, trying to catch if anyone is in that mid rotation there. Hardora does not get caught out by that mid push. Potter here, making up here with Laz. It's a 2-player push up there onto the top side there. And this double swing goes massive, goes huge to find 2 members of Z11.
Standing.
Quick to reposition away as well. Hardora found in a very, very hard place. If he goes down ramps, he's gonna get pincered down onto top side here. Does find Apinya at the very least, but this high-low setup as well will make sure that Potter lands his 3rd pickoff. So it's gonna be a 7-4 right now. There's still
Last
one more
round
round
before the
for
switch.
Z11 to keep this a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, not too bad though. I mean, it's just wanting to keep that op online, but with the gate crash back and the warning shot fired, because there was that slight jiggle from Potter, no op shot found, right? So he's like, okay, it's probably not here. I can kind of blast back into sight. And that's how they took down Fontes. That's kind of one of the other things that Z11 needs to consider is Fontes was alone on A. There wasn't anyone else, especially off of the gate crash, to kind of relay back to maybe hold from A heaven. So playing in numbers or just trying to defend sites, it hasn't been the best, and Full Sense are taking advantage of that. Back to the slow default though now.
Kelsey still does what he does best, playing a little bit more aggressive, taking out space here, and I don't think Leviathan is aware. Keeping away right now, staying back. Arco is set up as well, and the information is relayed. They know someone's on garage as well, but somehow on mid side here, Potter gets completely obliterated by Bassbabe. But Sephiroth, he's not done. Going to take up a bit more space here. Finds a nice off angle, crouches to find his kill back, avenging his fallen comrade. Kelsey is keeping relatively safe right now. Unfortunately for him, his position's noted because of the Trailblazer, only using a shorty, so it's not enough to confirm if an op is in hand.
It kind of would be though, because normally you would shoot the Trailblazer with a rifle, right? So if it's a shorty being shot, then you're like, wait, why did he shoot it with a shorty? Maybe he's using another weapon? So that's why they're kind of thinking about, but they will still just jiggle peek back into it. They took down Kelsey, and the Showstopper is a trade back from Laz.
Takes a lot of damage from the initial hit as well, but he's the one who comes up on top here. The slow fights are happening all around the map here, from mid, from B main as well. Apinya on the side here, he's alone. So the pop flash at the very least, the guiding light does not find anyone onto CT side here. And it was slow, but his timing is good. Right as that flash falls, he finds the head.
Yeah, well played. Having numbers, but also for Z11 to kind of read the macro game a little bit better now. They're starting to understand that this is full
round of attack they go here. And I think this double duelist should be the round they want to go big.
Trying to set up for at least Z11. Aggression is the one thing that they're really good at. You got this double duelist as well. Get crashed back from Kelsey to regroup with his team. I imagine he could try to lurk around. Oh. Potter and Sephiroth trying to prevent the hit from happening as well, though.
Some initial hits here. Apinya just gonna try and just find some information. Did spot a micro pixel off. I think that's probably what happened here. But I love how Kelsey has navigated himself all through the entire map. He's holding one angle, he makes contact, he immediately TPs away, and you have no clue where he is. It's as though this whole map belongs to him. You can't really pinpoint where he is. And Z11 this time, because of that, they're able to fully just walk up onto mid-side area. They have control of vents as well. They can potentially hit heaven, because right now the rest of Full Sense are deciding to hold on the sites itself.
Yeah, they haven't really baited out too much utility either, Full Sense. So, comes down to the hit.
Explodes onto the side here, tries to right-click the face, and Endois does for just that. Apinya here going to try to play a contact, but this double hold and double swings coming from Bassbabe, but Endois, the dynamic duo, keeps them alive, and they go for that plant here. Leviathan coming in from Heaven's side, the rest of Z11 posting themselves all the way to the back of site. And granted, that ramps is not going to be the easiest to break either, because you already have the poison orb there. You're going to get decayed, and you're going to get sprayed. Laz coming in from CT side, finds nothing. So the only option for him is just to try and swing up onto this area. Quick shoots the face onto Endois. His teammate falls in a 1v3 here. Tries to isolate these fights. The angles are good, but Kelsey was just faster on that first contact. So pistols fall to Z11.
Yeah. Not fully isolated, because you're still exposed to like two sides. But I mean, at that point, it's tough to isolate it, especially when you don't have utility. Tough round, honestly. I mean, Full Sense kind of let themselves get pushed back. They felt some utility, felt some presence around A ramp, and they just played super defensive, passive around the A side, and that allowed for, you know, the likes of Endois to just dive into screens and do everything with the classic. It's crazy how well Z11 can play when they find their groove. So next round coming up, you need to see Full Sense, you know, do more with their utility, find more information. And right now they're doing a little bit of that with that Arc Rose, but also then you don't have the guns. Z11 trying to hold on to as much as possible for the later rounds. Oh, Potter.
Just going big. They're finding Bassbabe. That means there's a little bit more space opened up as well for them to play with. But that's not the side they're hitting here. They're trying to go for B. Potter hasn't moved in from A yet, but here comes the initial push here. Leviathan with those pot shots forward, and the same could be said for his teammates. But they do get access to that orb, and I think that's what they want to do here, is just feed as many as those orbs as possible to Kelsey, and let him just go crazy and take up space, find out information in that dimensional drift. Akko set up once again here. That's off angle from Laz, immediately found as well. But Leviathan, he makes it hard. Quickly trading out here, but at the very least for his teammates are there to quickly try and equalize. But everyone from the team just falling one by one like flies. At the very least now, Kelsey and Endois make it clean. And through that skirmish, they lost 3 guns. So not the best of rounds, but for 7-7 Z11, they are at least making it a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, not bad. I think it was... Well, I think one of them was on a ghost, so not the biggest loss, but still tiny loss, right? In full sense, starting to understand like how Z11 might play. But nonetheless, I mean, it's only been the first 2 rounds. You know, both teams taking it really slow and steady. And we'll see what Full Sense really want to do now, especially with a very specific composition like this. No early flashes for info or anything, just holding, watching the angle so far. But you got that shoe all outside of B, and that's going to be a huge obstacle for Z11.
3 players posted down mid as well. But Full Sense, they haven't really been... For me personally, I'm quite surprised that they haven't put more bodies toward that mid-side area. It's a lot of space given away. They decided to play a little bit more passive on the side itself. The info they sent out here will be that guiding light. Does find 1 member at the very least, as Bass Babe noted already. So the rest of Full Sense, just gonna play out the information, not over-rotate. They do have traps to work with on A side.
Little bit. And that's kind of what most teams do, right? You have that 1 Viper on the lurk around the A site. Just last to try to hold against it.
Almost like the Matrix, how they're just trying to navigate through those trips as well. And last play inside of the cages itself. Timing is huge. He tries and sprays around here, but Hardora, a nice headshot to the face. Potter answers back, Fontus as well. So both teams trading off each other one by one, suffering heavy losses here, but a lot of value still holding on to Z11. More bodies left online. Kelsey's shot goes massive onto Potter, and Leviathan, his timing is not quite right there. Unfortunately for him, his teammate's not able to hold. And Kelsey, I think he spotted him out here. Good to find one. Can try and go for these isolated fights 1v1, maybe land some insane 2 shots as well. But you have no clue where the members of Z11 are. He spots 1 at least down onto elbow side, but where are the other 2? Gonna try and suspect it's gonna be heaven side. Hardora, very, very low. Just gonna smoke off an area. Can't really breach the site as well. Time definitely not in sight. Maybe perhaps now he can try and go for some exit frags, dwindle down the numbers. Just toying with him at the very least this time. And now, time's just gone.
Yeah, he knew the odds were against him and didn't really have a chance at taking these 1v1s, so gonna have to go for the save instead, not give up too much to his opponents. But that was a great round coming out from Z11. In terms of the macro game, you can really see them not only trying to poke and prod across the map, it's also the 1 gate crash. I don't know if it was like a lineup, but it went all the way through from garage to back B. And because of that, I think Full Sense started to sweat and they thought it's going to be some kind of set play, some kind of TP play from Kelsey. And they started to rotate over onto B side, which left Laz alone, who couldn't fend off the entire Z11 team. So same beginnings now. 4-1 split. You do have Bass Babe on that lurk across A again. And Full Sense needs to be careful, and they need to gather information tactically.
It's honestly the same play here. A little bit more aggressive this time at the very least from Full Sense here. Playing a nice little push-pull. They have 1 player going aggressive, a little bit more passive on A site. Kelsey anticipating the push, so he's just gonna hold on to the side of that smoke with that shorty. But at the very least, Bass Babe's position noted as well, so his location is tagged by the spy cam, keeps him at bay at the very least.
Leviathan, that's a good win.
Nice off angle as well here, and he's gonna try and just reposition himself all the way back. He's noted 2 already. Kelsey's gonna try and flash out here, but this flash does not hit, so Kelsey will fall as well. Leviathan making quick work of that.
A
all the way
rifle that
already.
Z11 didn't expect. Well, Bazbabe now
seconds
trying to
left.
poke into the A site, but Last is beginning to peek.
Ooh, catches him. I mean, if you already saw in heaven, where are you gonna go? There's gonna be a top side, and Last, all he has to do is just land that headshot, and he does. Honestly, it's very, very surgical how Full Sense has really played this. Satching onto the side here, that trip does eventually get him, so it's all they're doing right now is just shooting their faces, and this Thrifty should fall into Full Sense's laps. And I have to say, this is one of my favorite rounds I can see from Full Sense right now, how they navigated around this play.
Yes. Well, I don't think... Well, they didn't really...
I mean, it's not really a set play. I mean, it's just more about reactions, right? Finding that information, knowing that one player is holding back here. A nice little aggression toward Garage and a little bit more passive toward A side. It's a different type of play because previously...
Yes and no. It's
Yes,
like
okay.
just Leviathan hiding inside a garage. He didn't even put any utility down, but he shot them down one by one because Z11 just peeked into him.
Toxins going up.
Fair enough.
Which is kind of perplexing. I wasn't
Who's next?
kind of aware of what Z11's intentions might be, but well, now they got the Euro, so should clear out the B site. Then you gotta watch out for, you know, Potter who has an off and everything.
Sephiroth is following him through that dimensional drift as well. He's gonna try and push swing out here if they wants to. Trying to find that right time as well. You hear the gate crash down, they already know where he is, and immediately the showstopper comes through and somehow finds Sephiroth and himself. So at the very least, a body down, traded. But Full Sense this time a little bit more on the advantageous side. They do have 4 very much alive as well. The Nightfall will be used, but they are looking onto at Heaven's side as well. Leviathan waiting, but Fonto is gonna swing out. Gonna quickly make quick work off Leviathan. Apina clearing those corners one by one, finding the haunt as well, taking it out of the way here. Full Sense managed to get on the site here, but Fontus is just the gatekeeper at the very least. The backside will be Hardora next. A nice crossfire from main as well, not the easiest to do. And this crossfire and hold from the backside will be the reason Z11's able to play that post plant to perfection. In fact, getting an off out of that as well.
Which is, again, another perplexing situation. Just 2 ultimates spent by Z11 and the whole round turned upside down, Tash. I'm kind of confused. I would have imagined Full Sense would have had some kind of game plan anticipating such plays, but Showstopper to block them off on the rotations. You know, you had an op in that situation as well, so not the best tool for retakes, and it just didn't work out too well for Full Sense. Now Killsy's the one with an op where he can, you know, get a kill, gate crash away. Full Sense might start to fumble things around this spot, around this score line.
Do have at least one player waiting out to Heaven this time around. The Trailblazer to come through. Yep, it spots out Endo, so has to give up that space onto ropes as well. Already see one knockout down by Bazbabe as well. Great first contact play as Sephiroth not good for the hold. Hardora read him very well, in fact, for that particular kill.
I mean, he just went back to check and he just happened to be there. What's going on, Full Sense? Why are they giving up these kills this way? Z11, on the other hand, happy to take more space. Also, a lot of information for Full Sense to know that it is an 8-hit, but they're not able to fend it off. Just Potter with a lone rifle, 1v4.
Really was. Impressive entry as well from Endoways as well. I mean, as well as Laz, honestly, that flick upwards, but again, quickly traded out, leaving Potter all alone, and Potter gonna forced to save. Again, it's that mid area. For me personally, I think that lack of hold rather from Full Sense toward that mid area is giving up so much space to Z11 to really explore their options, in my opinion.
Kind of. I mean, there's just so much that they can do now. You know, you have the op, and they are kind of taking their time with things as well. Full Sense, they feel like they need information, and they begin to kind of peek out into a lot of these plays. I mean, I imagine at some point it might be another timeout from Coach Leaf, because it feels like something that Full Sense desperately needs. Well, maybe desperately is not the right word, but
they really need it.
Yeah, it's not working out too well for them. need the information, or they need to lay out more traps for Z11. You know, something like a shear wall outside garage or in garage, you know, just for additional information, and then to shore up your defenses on other parts of the map. But they haven't done any of that. They haven't really used much of their utility that well. They're thinking about information, and they're peeking into these moments where Z11 catches them square off in little like 1v1s or trades that come out because Kelsey has an op now, or because of the previous rounds where they unfortunately just got traded down and doesn't work out too well.
I mean, I'm not sure about you, but I haven't really seen that impact coming in for the Visor. Yeah, I see the Arc Rose. I haven't really seen the Thorns come online yet. The one time we saw a the Steel Guardian come online, he got traded as well. So I would love to see more impact, especially on this defense side from that Vice. Regardless, coming into this one, I think Full Sense, I would love to see Full Sense to play a little bit more aggressive, Full Sense being a little bit more proactive. I feel like it feels almost uncharacteristic. I'm so used to seeing an aggressive Full Sense, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but well, they're not playing that kind of a composition.
No, they're not.
Style
They're
right now.
definitely not. Yeah.
Some outs in their back though, but we'll see what it's going to be this time. More Razor Vines across the A site in case it becomes a bit of a landing pad for Endoist. Then you bring more of that attention over onto B, where they do have the triple stack and the Cypher trips. Once again, just needing to see what Z11's game plan is going to be and how Full Sense are going to react to that. Z11 with a slow creep up towards middle. You got the smokes, and Full Sense have left vents open, Tash.
They really have. I mean, just now, Endoist did try to crow up vents, and Apina was there to greet him at the very least. The Trailblazer caught him off guard, so he was able to just move away and just quickly just move toward B Haven. But this time around, that's exactly what they're doing here. They've heard the sound of the Trailblazer this time, so there's enough information already for them to say that there's not enough hold there as well. But the showstopper comes online here from Potter, anticipating an aggressive push from main, and Kelsey somehow manages to run away here. Moves forward as well, as Endoist does fall. Saffron's going huge here. Finds two before finally knocked down. Potter as well to find Hardora. Lot of space locked down onto the side as Basket coming in rain from above in terms of pain as well, but he finds two before everything falls apart here, leaving Kelsey alone, forced to fight in a 2v1 with an op. Gonna swap his weapons to a gun as well. No clue where the other members are. The spike is all the way onto B site. They've heard the drop, they've heard the sound of the ropes as well. So the rest of the team is now just making sure they can just really play off each other as well. The timing is good and Potter just swings out. It's a little bit, I think this round is just easy. I think it's just saying that it's a bit more aggressive, but they were ready for Z11's explosive push out.
Sure. I think what it really was is the coach's timeout calling for them to change up their setups, to leave intentional gaps, and to have intentional angles being covered, as well as utility in case Z11 goes for that push. And that's kind of what that push was. A little bit tricky with Kelsey and the way that he was able to backtrack to bait out that showstopper, which kind of worked, but not well enough because Sephiroth was on the B site to watch Heaven alongside Laz. That kill that Sephiroth picked up really turned the round around. So next one coming up, Z11, slow creep up, 1-3-1 split. It's easily dealt with by the two players stacked up on A ramp.
Love that they know that it's going to be one player pushing out a little bit more, and they find it quickly. There's a sheer wall there at the very least, so Z11 is going to try and push in a little bit more aggressive together. Leviathan is just going to quickly deal with them as well. Hardora to trade, but Sephiroth is at the very least on the side itself to try and find the numbers or equalize them. But it's not going to be easy when you have a player like Endoist who's just so aggressive. Site taken, completely in their control. It's still a 2v3. They are at the numbers advantage. They know there's one onto Hell as well. Potter gonna be kept at bay at the very least because the Seas does find him. But the pain shells will just quickly corral the members of Z11 away into the crosshairs of Full Sense onto Haven side. So the very least Full Sense, that timeout looking great right now, gives them 2 in a row.
Yeah, much better from Full Sense. This is the recovery that they needed. You have the setups. They finally managed to find a way to, peak together as a team. But at the same time, for Sephiroth, my king, on the B side, dude. Tash, he's been great because of how he's able to, first of all, throw out that paranoia into garage if necessary, but also to pivot back his attention on towards B Heaven. That is how most times Full Sense are able to fight back against Z11's pushes, you know, taking down players like Endois or even Killsy sometimes. And then also for Potter to hold on to that paint shells for that spike plant against Fontes. So being able to play it safe that way, they had numbers. And now back to the drawing board for Z11. They're seeing a lot more utility. We're seeing the effect of the sheer wall up around B Heaven as well. That is something then that Z11 needs to deal with if they are to hit B ever again.
I mean here, Sephiroth not leaving anything to chance there. So at the very least for Killsy, knows there is some presence there. They bait out that wall at the very least. Potter does swing out just to check if anyone's close. Not gonna hold on too long here. Gonna be kept at bay because of the pain shells, because of the snake bite as well. But there is still another lane to worry about. Is Leviathan, a nice little off angle, but a double swing from Bass Babe and Fontes makes it hard for them to hold. Full control of the B side as well. They get that plant. The other two members from Full Sense scrambling to retake this. Apiña and his teammate kind of so far apart. They have a pit already set online. Pop flash to see if anyone's close, finds nothing. The haunt to see if anyone's close as well. Quickly just gonna double swing forward. Quick headshots onto Apiña and Laz left alone. It's not gonna be the easiest retake as well in a 1v4, so I think he's just gonna try and call it. Just try again next round.
Yeah, 1v4 with the Viper's Pit as well, so that's his only option right now, unfortunately. But nonetheless, it's a good round now coming out from Z11. Not only did they hold on to some of the ultimates that they have, they're also able to kind of break it open with just sheer force, right? Everyone peeking together around the same time, taking more space around middle, or even dealing with the sheer wall. I think that just kind of happens when you have a Yoru in your kit. Like, you're able to trip the sheer walls with your clone sometimes, and it's things like that that really allow Z11 to play around the map, play around the site, and also to take down Full Sense. Full Sense, the players weren't quite able to react in kind to all those simultaneous peaks. So it is what it is. Next round coming up, and we'll have the Nightfall ready for Fontes, which is going to be a really big catalyst for a potential hit. As you can see, a lot of pings all across the A side now, Tash.
I want to go aggressive at the very least. Maybe the trips could keep them at bay, but I think they are already pinging where the first initial trip is.
Grenade!
Regardless, they've heard the cam already, so I know that Laz is close. Grenades just really just break any of the util forward. They have a nice set play for the Nightfall, for the snake bite as well, just to clear it out. And he's already on Heaven's side. They're quickly going to find Laz. But coming from mid side as well, Apiña does re-clear back Heaven. So at the very least, that's one part of the site already back in their hands. Clears out main. Sephiroth as well, trying to go for a crunch here. Nice little lurk, but Bass Babe already anticipating what's happening. Nope. Both of them timing the biggest enemy, but Bass Babe will be the one to fully take advantage of that situation. The wall banks are true here from Leviathan. Potter goes a little bit more aggressive. Here's the sounds all the way behind pillar. Bass Babe itself at finding the right angles and the right timing. Potter finds one, Apiña as well, and Apiña somehow gonna just make it clean, tapping heads all around the map. And just like that, it's a nice retake for Full Sense, and now we're down to 11-11. Make a wish, Quack.
I wish for OT, maybe. I don't know. I might have just jinxed it, but we'll see. I mean, that was a round where Leviathan's Steel Garden, the Vice ultimate, truly came alive. He kept it for this specific moment. Being able to deploy it from A Heaven controls or affects the entire site, and because of that, it allowed for Potter to get within range. And not only did that happen, Potter was aware enough that there might have been a shorty on the other side. I think he heard some jumps from Endois, and he stopped just before he pushed out a elbow. And through that, you know, some distraction back and forth, the trait protocols coming out, Apiña peeking out from Heaven, they took more kills, more numbers. So some retake games coming in from Full Sense now, and it looks lovely. Z11, you gotta layer more things back and forth. And it's not easy against a team that are beginning to switch up their play styles, right? So you got this 3-2 setup once again. And once more, Z11 are trying to break through to take space around B Heaven and Garage.
This time Laz is playing on B, so one of the trips does get found. It's a nice, I would say, off angle as well. They're holding here. Gonna quickly just cage up as well to find the numbers, but Endois says, okay, you know what, judge in hand, let me just blind shot you through this to see if you're playing close. It does tag him for quite a significant amount of his HP.
And then for Z11 to trail back, you got Hard Door hiding inside our ground garage as well. So Full Sense are now having some question marks. Did they rotate off somewhere else? They're not entirely sure.
quick jumps onto the side here. The showstopper in response, but somehow Potter finds Enduis, but Enduis with a shotgun in hand finds him back. But Sephiroth goes huge here, finds 2 to his name. But Killsea's not done. He shoots back. Last to fall. The off angles are huge from Pandora as well. Apina, he's been sharp last round, and that momentum is just rushing forward. 2 to his name, all the way from Heaven's Side.
Came so close. It could have been a Z11 round, but Full Sense stood up on top. They stood tall and they did not falter. Some potential fakes coming out from Z11, right? Some those judge shots. But it was just a judge shot. I think from that alone, Full Sense were able to kind of think that this isn't right. We probably still want to keep our players here. We don't want to rotate off too early. And because of that, you know, you had the showstopper as well. Even with the judge diving in, Potter was able to stop them in their tracks, and once again, in for the retake plays. Sephiroth, he might have fallen, but Arpinia was right there to pick the team right up where they left off. So we're now sitting here at 11-12, Tash, and of course it has to be this timeout from Coach Fade on Z11 to try to bring things back. They just need one more round.
They really need one more round. But it's also like, I would say, to make it an OT, right? And you did wish for an OT, Quack. You wished for an OT. You might be getting that right now. I mean, Z11 has been... I think the last time they had a timeout, they quickly... not cemented. They managed to... What's the word, Quack? Help me out here.
What?
They were able to... You know what? They were able to cash out of that timeout just now. They were able to find dividends on it. Yeah.
Because like when they won 2 rounds in a row?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Anyways, coming to this one.
Maybe, yeah.
Enduis has, I mean, they don't have the best of guns here, but Enduis does have the showstopper to make a big of an impact. So they should be able to make big aggressive plays here.
Possibly. But unfortunately for them, Guiding Light does hit, so it's big information for Full Sense now.
What, 3 members gonna swing with 1 Bucky in hand? It's gonna be
One
devastating here.
showstopper could break this.
It really does. They know where it is right now. They've already known that. Here's the showstopper to come through. It hits 1 and only 1, but the rest of the team just falls apart as well. Potter and Apina 1 each, and so does Fontus. As Hardora rushes up forward there, knows exactly where Apina is. But Sephiroth from behind screens there is gonna go huge. But that paranoia throws him off, and the timing for Hardora is here. And Quack, your wish at 11-11 came through. We are gonna be seeing an overtime.
Yeah, it's overtime.
Overtime.
That's crazy. What do we say about the showstopper? It kind of happened that way. Not exactly the way that we wanted it to, but because of those kills, it allowed for the rest of the team to peek over. And because of those peaks at the same time, Sephiroth unfortunately also felt a bit of pressure on the site itself. He did take a good heads-up duel, but then for the rest of Z11 to relay through just all the numbers trading back and forth, it's a sudden rush play, and it's one of those that Full Sense, you know, not quite able to withstand, especially from that showstopper. You would think though that they kind of need to anticipate that, right? Like,
yeah,
checking the alts every now and then. So somewhat unfortunate, but we are back into OT1. This means Full Sense will be back on the attack, and Z11, they've got to figure out a way to make this double duelist comp work on the defensive side.
What's your thought here, Quack? What can they do?
I mean, it's definitely not going to be easy. Well, this is a really hard question, Tash.
I know, it's a hard question. Listen, you bullied me earlier, let me bully you back.
Thank you. Actually, I appreciate it. Well, let's see what I can come up with. I'm really like just pulling everything out of my butt right now, but it will have to be Z11 doing something with their composition, right? You have the double duelist, and you really need to be able to surprise Full Sense. One thing that has been working out from before, if you remember, was Bass Babe. He had a lot of roadblocks with his toxic screen or the poison cloud, and he was spamming through them sometimes. And because of those spams, or trying to anticipate what Full Sense wants to do, he was able to surprise them or break them apart as they tried to creep across these smokes. But then again, in OT1, you never know. The timeout being called, Full Sense might be switching up their game plan, and they are going for the full 5 seconds of B-site.
This little angle there, I mean, anyone cross, you can see their legs just quickly shoot their hits here, but they are anticipating that as well. Quickly, nice guiding light forward as well. The paranoia to answer back, but somehow they crossed out really fast. Potter just rushed up, take up space alongside Laz as well. And despite all of the utility, the clones, the flashes, they still just shoot everyone in their way. There's still one more to worry about. It's Hardora, and he's only good for one here. Fontus, last man left standing here. They try to make the big play happen. They get the plants. They have no clue where to look here. They see the cage. They see the Trailblazer. They know there's at least someone in the back of sight. And as soon as he tries to shoot that Trailblazer, the rest of Full Sense just swings out. And Full Sense take this first OT.
Switching sides.
Yeah, Trailblazer picked up his scent. It turned back around. It's, again, just one of these rounds where it's a little bit unfortunate for both sides. There wasn't... And that's the thing about these compositions. You don't have enough information, or you're not retrieving enough information. At least in that instance, Fontes wasn't on the B site, and they got surprised. Full Sense were able to go in for that full execute, something that they never did at all in that first half. So, bit of a surprise for Z11, but we'll see what happens now with Z11's timeout onto this second, well, OT1 round. Z11 then on the attack, right? That's where we saw them do a lot more, with Kelsey, being able to maybe steal something, get Crash away. Full Sense, we need to see them play around their utility. We saw the Vise. Sometimes he was placing those walls around B Heaven. Sometimes it's the Vines across A site. But then you also need to make use of that Rose, the Arc Rose, the flash that kind of retrieves info for you, but also refreshes. So kind of getting an early hit would be great for Full Sense.
Completely agree with you there. I mean, Full Sense on this attack, it's very aggressive, it's firepower heavy, right? But mostly as well is the fact that they just poke and prod, walking down mid-side, try to find some information. They really take their time with this. And now, again, this is Potter going aggressive this time. The same kind of play that we saw from Kelsey doing on their defensive side. Anticipating it already, so at the very least, because of that Prowler, Potter is just pushed away from where he's holding, but the op still hasn't been known. Great opening from Endois to find Apina early this time around, but it's still Potter to worry about here, playing from behind the pillar with an op in hand.
Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit worried about Potter.
I am very worried. It could be a double swing, it could be a flash that really throws him off here at the very least. But he's just moving around as well. They do have someone coming in from Heaven's side there. Sephiroth to fall. That's Kelsey. Just somehow walking out mid here. Find someone to his name. And Leviathan to go a bit more aggressive. Anticipating the flash as well. So he antis that. But no one is around. Nice off-angle play as well for Leviathan. I don't think he's heard the footsteps quite yet here. As the rest of Full Sense just forced to play a little bit more passively back. They have no clue where exactly the other members of Z11 are.
35 is not easy. It comes down to how well Lass and Potter could anchor.
30 seconds left.
Because the op and Kelsey just catches Potter off guard. They're anticipating where he is. And Z11 just make quick work of any survivors onto the site itself. The timing for Leviathan is good. I think I'm not too sure if he actually spotted out where Kelsey was going here. And with the C's, with 4 members left, this feels like deja vu the last few rounds just now.
Yeah, there's no chance he gets this.
Finds Kelsey's hit, dwindles down the numbers. Still, it's not gonna be the easiest. Heaven side, there's 2 in a high-low. There's also one there. Footstep noted as well. Yeah, no time as well. Haunt as well coming online as well here, but he's still gonna try regardless. Jump peeks forward here, tries to go up. There is the one-way smoke as well as the shots up forward. Bass Babe, he's sharp as heck. It's 13-13, Z11 making this map look so competitive. I am surprised. In a good way.
In a good way. It's definitely, a well-constructed round by Z11. I think Full Sense, they also got kind of surprised. Well, I don't know if it's surprised. Like, they still get punished by these very little moments, like players around mailroom, and you get picked off by Kelsey. Especially when that player is Sephiroth, it just hurts and stings so much more. So, OT number 2 now, and this time it's a Leviathan with an op. Kelsey with an op of his own as well.
Scout destroyed.
Always love seeing these op battles down, especially mid-main, wherever it's gonna be here. Kelsey gonna conceal the fact that he has an op in hand as well. Apina just gonna try and peek forward, finds nothing at the very least. A lot of noise at least made here. Nice high-low setup as well, the cage to see if anyone would cross. And Z11 leaving nothing to chance. The Prowler sent up alongside some spams just to keep them off guard. But Leviathan's positioning and the op as well has been noted as well, at the very least, onto garage side.
Kelsey's op not noted though.
No. Forward here. Oh, the reposition for Leviathan will find dividends. Kelsey was not expecting him to be here on mid side.
Not at all, and that's a great jump peak. So some individual procedures, shall I say, coming over out from Full Sense. Like, they're starting to get a little bit more cautious with all these corners around the map, and that is discipline coming out from them, which is lovely to see. Still got to watch out for the A site, though. They know that Font is somewhere around here.
He's gonna try and just explode onto the site itself, but Endo is taking full control of the situation, playing side by side with his teammates. So that was a beautiful seize that was used as well, giving them a bit more advantage in terms of numbers. Coming in from top side here, Sephiroth sharp as ever. Still one more play to worry about, and Vastwave's timing from ropes is just huge. And now here comes the showstopper online as well. And Z11 plays this defense to perfection.
Switching sides.
And perfection came in the form of Fontis, Tash. I am stunned. I've got no words. I thought Full Sense would have known. Like, you hadn't seen that seize. They were trying to, I don't know, just get that pace into the site to, you know, flashback their way through. But because of Fontis and that well-timed seize, it just really kept Full Sense stuck. And this is where things can really go topsy-turvy. Full Sense might not be able to recover from a play like that. They've got the setups all across the map so far, but it's not one that Z11 hasn't seen before, and they are trying to break and trip a lot of it, especially with that clone around the A site right now. Kelsey doing a lot of work for the team.
Very least position, they do show their presence here onto rope side as well, but the Roomba will just really clear out here, so he does have a little bit more space to work with. A quick flash as well, finds nothing onto Heaven's side here. Trailblazer from Apinya, just to really make sure that no one is coming up from me. I don't think that he's able to catch anyone quite yet from behind that toxic screen.
We gotta keep our eyes on the anchor players on Full Sense then. A lot of responsibility on their shoulders, Tash. I'm looking at Leviathan right now, and I am nervous.
Yeah, quick splash as well, and Endo is doing what he does best, quick exploding onto the site. The flash that's hit one here, Apinya holding, he makes it look good. Sharp as heck, coming in from first map all the way to now, finds 3 alongside Leviathan as well. Z11, they took up a lot of space down mid, they made their way onto Heaven's side, and like you mentioned, Quack, the anchor plays coming in. Who's on that site? Apinya and Leviathan make it huge.
That could have gone south. Oh well, 15 seconds. Come on. It's not happening.
No.
Okay,
definitely not.
It always makes me nervous. I never know with these teams.
You never,
but yeah,
yeah.
Overtime.
It's freaky.
It's scary.
Well, it's not Friday, so it's not Freaky Friday. It's Thursday. But sometimes these things happen. And, well, in that round, it's just so happened that it was a well-timed flash coming up from Arpinya. Because he was able to find info around a Heaven, thankfully then he knew to back off, play backside, especially around elbow to hide and hope and hold with his teammate Leviathan on the site. So it still is kind of going back and forth, and it could still be anyone's game just because of the little gaps back and forth.
Let's see, you have smokes already set up toward vents just to make sure no one can peek from there. At the very least, the only person they have to worry about is someone pushing out of mail at the very least. But Last gonna position himself all the way down into sewer side.
Off still on both sides as well. What I would love then is for Full Sense to get some more info, you know, try to bait something out to confirm presence around mid, and then to figure out that it's just Hardora around the B site. Op shots whiffed again.
Yeah. But he's still holding, and Haldora knows, so all he's going to do is just place that smoke down. But Sephiroth's already on the site here. Eyes onto main. It's so easy for Sephiroth to quickly eliminate Hardora. Here comes the calls, the rallies onto the B site as well, as the rest of the team, Bassbait from top side, tries to find the right opportune moment, and it's not. Apinya was very much ready for him, so Bassbait to fall next.
Spike planted.
Possibly. We got Heaven. The smoke dissipated.
Oh no, Leviathan. Not able to land his shots here. Finally gets it, but Kelsey with an op shot of his own. Gonna quickly eliminate him. He's gonna satchel forward here. Endo is trying to buy a little bit of a fake push forward. The rest of full sense, they're ready. Nice three-way hold as well, and so many different crossfires as well. Peeks one corner here, Sephiroth's not done! This is his round and his side as well. Perfectly played. This is a really clean round from full
Switching
sense.
sides. Match point.
Yeah, way better. But I gotta... I might have missed it. How did Sephiroth sneak through? The off shot, and I think he TP'd out from garage into the other side of pillar, and because nobody from Z11 was watching from heaven, and also somehow Hardor didn't hear it, I think maybe that's how Sephiroth found that space into the site. But whatever the case is, that was the play that turned the whole round upside down. Next one coming up, Z11 back on the attack, and we've got the shear wall up towards B heaven this time.
Wrong buddy out.
Same kind of plays coming in from Z11 here. Poke prod mid. Just gonna send your Roomba into the smoke to see if anyone's playing close. Full sense. Happy to just play on the site, take their time.
And again, that means it does kind of come down to the anchor so far. No shear around A, so they kind of guessed that it was B, and it would be right. Kill C trips the shear. Now that calls for the full recollection back into the A site. So once again, another situation where Potter, Laz, and Arpinia need to come up huge on this site.
Toxins going up.
Toxins going up, so it does give him a little bit of space if they want to cross onto ramps as well. Nice. This corner held by Potter. He's gonna just eat that damage coming in here. They spot the gate crash, so they're gonna keep a close eye on that one as well. Picking up onto heaven site, finds no one. Haunt to come through, and they're just gonna try and explode here as well. No corners cleared as well. The Haunt doesn't find him. Apinya good to find one here. Corner held by Potter goes huge. On top side of heaven here, Kill C is gonna fall, but Apinya, what a spray! Perfectly played to find two members of Z11, and suddenly everything is falling apart. The last nail in